Next up, we have our community moment. This is a time when one of our community members can speak on a thought of the day, a book that they might have read, their journey to free thought, or really anything that comes to mind. Today we have Verena Kalhoff, a 2-year member of Houston Oasis, member of the board and chair of fundraising, here to give us our community moment.
Good morning, everybody. I am going to be, it's the winter fundraiser. To start it off though, what I want to convey to you is really what Houston Oasis means to me and why I want and work to make this community succeed. I wanted to start off with a poem I wrote about 20 years ago. It was originally in German, it just got translated yesterday, so my apologies if it sounds a little rough. It's perfect in German. At some point, I was there again, tired, annoyed, and exhausted. Just do whatever you want. I don't want to defend myself any further, I can't. Powerless, I watch how everything sinks to the bottom. Everyone says it doesn't matter. Only thinking of themselves, then comes the anger. I don't want to submit. I don't want to go. I don't want to go where everybody else goes. So I swim to the bank. I watch the river stream. I don't know where it is going, but I don't want to go there. I don't go against the flow of the stream. I walk alongside of it. I still don't have the power to confront. Every now and then come the floods and drag me back into the stream. I drift, but when I realize it, I swim back to the bank. And I keep walking. I don't know to where. I don't know why. I don't know what to expect. But the rest of them? Going with the flow? Do they know where they're going? Do they know why? Do they know what to expect? I think this poem stands very much for where I've always been. I haven't fit in. Was never one of the flow. And then I never had that community. I was always questioning, playing the devil's advocate. And then I came to Houston Oasis a couple years ago. And suddenly questioning was okay. Suddenly I didn't need to fit in. Houston Oasis is one of those places, well, of course we have the talks. We have wonderful music, like we have this morning. Of course, there's a ton of volunteering going on without having to subscribe to a specific dogma. The socials are absolutely wonderful, and I think I've made a lot of wonderful friends here. Just to kind of go through some of the stuff that I've really loved from last year. The Houston Food Bank, absolutely awesome. We went there with, 10, 15 people, several times actually. Then there are some of the talks. Johnny was given a talk a few months ago on indirect communication. Who knew? I certainly didn't. You can communicate indirectly? Total news to me. And then the talks by Dennis. Loved the humor in the arts. Now, of course, when you put in math and art, that was totally down my alley. The music, like I mentioned, the volunteering, the socials. The winter solstice, thank you so much. We had about 50 people coming out to just get together, have a nice potluck, celebrate. We had a couple people whip out their instruments and just improvise. That was awesome. An awesome, awesome thing to do. Now, I am a scientist by training, scientist by heart in many respects. So you gave me a talk about epigenetics, that's totally up my alley. But there is more to life. There's so much more to life. There is the music. There is art. Not that I'm saying music isn't art. But Houston Oasis gives me this opportunity to start learning about different areas, understanding how different people have gotten to where they are now. And we can do that here in an environment of compassion, respect, and kindness. There's nobody who's going to judge you for the path that you have taken. And I think that's absolutely beautiful about Houston Oasis. Now, this stuff doesn't just happen. And of course, when I sat with the fundraising committee and we were kind of trying to go through, well, what does it actually take to put Houston Oasis together? One of the big things that makes Houston Oasis work is the volunteers. I went through, over there in the childcare room, we have 4 to 5 people, a couple hours for each of them every Sunday. That's a lot of time. Then we have our photographer, our videographer, we have the people in the sound equipment, podcast people. Organizing this meeting takes a lot of time. The speakers, they volunteer their time as well, and it's not only the time that they're here and talk to you. Those 4 hours or 5 hours, I think 4 hours for the speakers and the MC. As I was rehearsing this talk yesterday, well, that's what I spent, well, more of that is what I spent yesterday alone preparing for this talk. There's a lot of time that goes into it. The board and committees, they meet several times throughout the month. You know, you get 5 people together meeting for a couple hours, that's 10 hours right there. To say that it takes about 240 hours of volunteer work every month to make Houston Oasis happen is probably very conservative. And that does not include Mike's time. And it does not include the time that we spend going out to the Houston Food Bank and volunteering there. This is only the time that it takes to put Houston Oasis, to make our Sunday meetings happen. Oh, and then I was having my biscotti earlier this morning. It takes a lot of time to put all of that together as well. So I would like to take a moment and just thank all of the volunteers to make Sunday happen. Thank you so much for contributing your time and really being committed to the community. And then, of course, it takes dollars. Now, I've gotten into this conversation a couple times here. Well, how much does this... Am I still there? Okay. How much does this room actually cost? Well, it's $600 every Sunday. Well, we do get the coffee, too. That's part of it, I guess. But it's a lot of money. We do pay our musicians. Musicians are typically the workers that are not particularly well paid, to say the least, and we do want to treat people fairly. However, when it comes to speakers, we don't typically pay our speakers. If we would want to bring in a nationally renowned speaker, well, the best we can do at this point is pay for their airfare. Right now, there is no budget to go and, take people coming in from out of town, take them out, really show them what Houston Oasis is all about. Then, of course, there's some administrative costs, marketing, and the website, etc. About $5,000 a month is what it costs to put this together. To put it into perspective, if we have 100 people at 4 Sundays, it's $12.50 per person per Sunday that it costs to make Houston Oasis run. Now, we do have income. There's 34 people in this group who have signed up for a monthly recurrent donation. And I would like to thank all of those 34 people to have committed to Houston Oasis and just have their money go towards our budget right away. Thank you. And then, of course, we're always passing the hat every Sunday. We would love not to have to do that. We're not particularly good at asking for money, I don't think. But we do. We have to. We pass the hat, and on average, we get a couple hundred or so every Sunday. But on occasion, it's only $100. Well, I don't know how you budget, but I budget on what I can count on, not on what I think I could get in any other way. So there's a big challenge for the board in trying to not only let Houston Oasis survive, but make us thrive as a community. And that is what we need to do in order to really get to where Houston Oasis can and should go. We had at the board meeting a discussion about a request that we had gotten from the child care people. They had asked for $30 a month to support our child care. That is nothing. We should be investing a lot more into our children, into children's programming. $30 a month? That is nothing. We want to have a quality children's programming. We would like to have events for adults. And we would love to have our Oasis building, right? And yes, we had the fundraising campaign, and that's money that we can use to get it going, but it's not enough to pay for rent in a building for a couple of years to come. It's nowhere there. So we have to be able to get our funds, to get our income somewhere close to where our expenses are. We want to be able to bring in speakers with national visibility and just in general provide an oasis of reason. So I would like to ask you, give you the opportunity to commit to Houston Oasis and sign up for a monthly recurrent donation. There's a number of different levels. Now I know as a monthly recurrent donor myself, it's sometimes awkward. The head comes past you, you don't put anything in because you've already had it drawn from your credit card. So what do? Well, the team has come up with this idea of everybody who signs up for a monthly recurrent donation, there's going to be a little Oasis pin. It's a metal pin, looks really cool, and we're going to start handing those out. So it shows very vividly that, yes, you have passed the hat on, but you are committed to Houston Oasis. In addition to that, for those contributing $100 or more in a monthly recurrent donation every month, of course, if it's monthly, it's every month, you're going to get the 2015 Houston Oasis yearbook. It is something that the marketing team has volunteered to work on, and it's going to be awesome. So those are a couple of the gifts of appreciation that we'll have for you. And now if you're asking, well, how do I get in on this deal? We have a couple of computers that are going to be standing outside, ready for you to go to our website, houstonoasis.org. If you click on it's not the donate button, the first one, it's the contribute button, thank you. And from there you go to the donate button that takes you to a PayPal site. Now the thing with that is it does go through a PayPal sign. The other opportunity though is that we have credit card slips that are lying out there as well if you want to fill that out and hand it to either Alexis or myself. Alexis is the treasurer of the board. We'll take care of it and we'll make sure everything gets handled confidentially and put into place. This campaign is going to run until Valentine's Day, until February 14th is the last day we're going to be doing this here. I would really encourage you to consider committing to Houston Oasis and signing up for a monthly recurrent contribution. Now, when you think back to the poem that I opened with, I was there 20 years ago, tired, annoyed, and just exhausted with having to defend myself, having to be different. I didn't want to fit in. There's thousands of people out there who feel just like that today. And I want them to have that community, to have Houston Oasis to come to. I certainly want to remain part of a wonderful community, but it's not just about surviving, it is really about thriving. Making this community grow strong, making it easier for others to be okay with what they are, who they are, and how they think and why they question. And just in general, have an opportunity to give back to humanity without having to subscribe to whatever dogma other than that, unless you think that people are more important than beliefs is a dogma. But, I think there's a lot that Houston Oasis has to offer to everyone out there. So please join me and the others who have signed up for a monthly recurrent donation. Be the Oasis for Houston and set an example for the nation. Mike and Helen are out there this weekend up in Utah, taking this concept to other communities that are trying to be in a community without dogma as well. Just inspire the world. Thank you very much. I'll be outside for questions afterwards. Thank you.